What's going on, guys? Cameron back again from Attack on Anime, here to bring you episode 8 review for PSO2 the animation. Now, this episode had me mixed on my emotions because I like the overall pacing of the episode because when we start off, we're still with the student council trying to plan for this after party they're having. But Isuki is really distracted because he's been following Aika around because he's pretty much starting to make the connection that every disappearance that occurs, Aika's always there. So he's just like, she must be hiding something. So he's constantly following her. And that creates some funny situations. Like at one point when he's following her and he confronts her and he tells her that he's interested in her. So everybody starts this whole rumor that him and Aika are going out, and Rina gets like really jealous about that. But Isuki is so bad with girls that he doesn't even really notice because he's just like, I need to find out what Aika's connection is to these disappearances. So throughout him following her, he's just like, I have to find out. And as we're following Aika through this episode, she seems like she's happier and starting to be kind of more human-like. She gets invited to this costume party by these students, and she actually agrees to go. Whereas Aika, when she first showed up, would have just been like, what's the point of that? There's no point of that. No, and she would have left. I think it has something to do with the girl that she saved last episode, Mika. I think by saving her, she's starting to have more human compassion and human emotion. And she seems genuinely more happier until she gets a phone call from a guy on the phone that's just like, remember, you're there on a mission. And she immediately goes back to being like, okay, I'm here on a mission. I have to stay focused. And she goes into the game, and Isuki finds her in the game, and he's trying to help her with this complicated quest against this dragon. And as the dragon attacks him, he transforms literally out of nowhere. And that made me really, that's the part where I say I had mixed emotions, because that transformation literally came out of nowhere with no explainable reason why he could do it. And then he pulls off this like spirit bomb maneuver where he just kind of like raises his sword in the air and pretty much makes the whole room share its energy with him, and then literally does this attack called an overend. I just call it a spirit sword because it was just like so out of nowhere. And then when he's outside of the game, a Darker decides to attack him, and he literally just conjures up his sword and transforms back into the same thing that he was in the game. And Aika tells him that you'll understand why soon enough, because apparently Aika is what's known as a guardian. Now that hasn't been explained like what that is, but apparently she's a guardian and she knows more about Isuki than even Isuki knows. But I just really don't like the fact that he can just transform just like out of nowhere, because then it's just like, okay, well, why didn't you transform like that when you were still tag teaming with Soro and you were still taking all those hits? Like, why didn't you transform then? Like, why is it happening now? And even now, he's starting to feel like actual pain from the game. So it's just like, either I think the game is getting more real, or that's the only thing I can really think of. I just think as the game is in existence, I think it's just getting like more real. But then that would mean it will start affecting other people. So it's just like, why is it only affecting certain people in this world? And I'm just like, really, that's why I'm like really confused by all of that. But let me know what you guys been thinking, because like I said, this episode had me mixed on emotions, especially with the transformation that's out of nowhere. I do like the pacing more in this episode, because while they're still like doing this little after party thing, which I personally didn't care about, they still managed to like keep the disappearances constantly a reoccurring theme throughout the episode. And then they kind of stepped it forward by showing us that transformation. So in episode 9, I want to see like full explanation on why Isuki can just transform out of nowhere and what exactly he is. But guys, until next time, peace.